I'm not even gonna lie, I actually like that thumbnail right there. I'm actually gonna start doing that a lot more with that. Alright, y'all, what we'll do, y'all, this is your boy Sherry Speaks. Right now, I talk to you guys about Cloak and Dagger, Season 1, Episode 9, Backbreaker. And I gotta say, I thought last week's episode, Ghost Stories, was this damn emotional, but nah. This one takes the damn cake for this damn season. I don't care about the next episode or the season finale. This one takes the cake for me, and here's why. Alright guys, so here's why I think episode 9, Backbreaker, is the best episode of this season. It's because this one hit an emotional depth. Like I said, I thought last week's episode was going to take the cake, but this one did. Because in the beginning of the episode, we see the aunt, Evita's aunt, walk around downtown New Orleans with a bottle of rum in her hand, spitting it out, and marking distinct tiles on the ground. And I'm wondering, what the heck is she doing? And it's all because she has this really bad feeling that something is going to happen. Now, mind you, last week was a big victory for Tyrone, and now all of a sudden the trial turns into sour, for both titular characters as well as other characters throughout the series. And I'm going to get into that in a little bit, but I just want to touch on this real quick. And the crazy thing about this is that Tyrone really had to confront himself, both Tandy and Tyrone. In Tyrone's case, he had to confront his anger and his guilt towards his parents because he felt like his parents didn't believe him 8 years ago when his brother Billy was killed. But as it turns out, his mother actually explained to him, listen, I believed you. Me and your father believed you, but we were too afraid that that cop that killed your brother, an innocent black kid, was going to come back and tie up those loose ends. Because that's what that cop is. That's what Connors is doing. He's tying up loose ends to that murder. Because ever since they got the confession, ever since Connors even got the word of the confession, he's just been on edge, as we all saw. And so when Connors killed Fuchs, that just made everything even better for him. Because now he's tying up loose ends, as his mother said. Because we saw the police bust in. He said, you're under arrest for the murder of Detective Fuchs. And now, his mother telling him to run. Now you saw Tyrone pause for a split second, and he pondered whether or not he should take the cloak. But the reason why he didn't is because that is a memento of his older brother Billy, and most likely if the police caught him, they would take that cloak into custody and into evidence, and that cloak would never see the light of day ever again. No pun intended. And so I think that's one of the reasons why Tyrone didn't take that cloak at that very split second. But to see how the pastor actually pretty much narrated this entire episode, because he was teaching the class about regression and how the heroes that we love, go through that. And while pretty much regression is, in a way, kind of what makes a hero. I remember every month, I'm sorry, not every month, but I remember my period of regression. When I was 13 years old, I went through this really life-changing surgery, and I was just down in the dumps. I was a week before the surgery, I was in triumph. Next thing you know, when that happens, I'm down in the dumps, I'm down in the slumps, I'm down beneath of the well, and I don't know where to go. I feel like I'm going back to my old ways, and that's exactly what I did. Until thinking that I could go back to the way I was, that happy-go-lucky kid, that optimistic kid, that guy, that positive kid that was that saw the world as this beautiful place. But only to realize that I couldn't do that. I had to see myself, I had to look in the mirror and see myself for who I really was. And I realized that throughout my life, I always just saw myself, I always viewed myself for who I really was through other people's eyes, just as the pastor said. Just as the pastor taught the class, and said to the class. And so, this episode was really reflective for me, but that's for another topic for another video. Moving on. As well, and we also saw how Tandy actually is going through regression as well. She wakes up, you see her crunch up the pills, ready to snort them. Next thing you know, she returns a call from Mina Hess to have brunch with her and her father Ivan. Now everything's going really well, but Tandy's really silent. She's really withdrawn from her surroundings. Mina keeps asking her, "Are you okay?" She's like, "Yeah, look, I'm fine." Pretty much Tandy just went back to her old ways. Robbing rich kids and things like that. Now, mind you, she ends up. And here's the big one of the big events of the episode, in my opinion. she ends up paying bail for her on and off again boyfriend, Liam. Now, mind you, Liam was pretty much left in the dust by Tandy in the very beginning of the season. I believe it was episode 1, 2, or 3, one of the three. And ever since then, Tandy's just been MIA. She's been ghost when it comes to Liam. In fact, Liam even actually referenced that. He said, "Look, I thought you moved on. I thought you just left me behind." And I immediately knew exactly what Liam was going to do. He was going to take that damn money and run, because I feel like he just felt like, that's what he was owed, for doing what he did. She didn't stick by me when I got pinched. She didn't really give a fuck about me. I mean, and hey, I don't, shit happens. What can I say? On the other flip hand, Detective O'Reilly is going through it because the man that she loved was killed suddenly. And I didn't really expect it. That really hit me like a ton of bricks. And so, to see that, we saw her, just being shooken up, seeing the man that she loves in the freezer dead, blood all over the place. And so she starts looking around, the crime scene. I hate to say it, but that's exactly what it is. And so she finds the blunt object that ultimately killed Detective Fuchs. And we see forensics actually take that evidence, and she's pushed out of her place. And then we see her at a pub. We're hearing other officers congratulate and talk and commemorate Detective Fuchs for the kind of guy he was. Next thing you know, Connor shows up, coincidentally, in my opinion, and and so that's when Detective O'Reilly grabs that billy club that they call the bag breaker and whoop, hits Detective Connors in the back of the head. But then again, that results Connors to beating the shit out of O'Reilly. Now, mind you, while everyone else is just standing around letting it happen, which makes you really think Connors really has some deep ass connections to get away with that, because no one else did it. None of the other fellow cops did a goddamn thing, and that's some fucked up ass shit, if you ask me. But another thing, at the very end of the episode, no, not even the very end. I'm sorry. We see Tandy go up to Tyrone's school and tells him, get out of my head. Stop getting in my head. Now, mind you, Tandy's been on this rampage of taking other people's hopes and dreams and making them feel how she feels. Mind you. Which I think is really fucked up. She hits them with a hopeless touch, bow. Now they're mind fucked, like she is. Now she's pretty much doing this just to deal with the pain, but obviously that's not working. And the crazy thing about that also is the fact that Avita, she tried that show on Avita, and Avita wasn't having that shit. She's like, get the fuck out of my damn head. No. Because we saw Avita, her hopes, which was to be a doctor and helping and saving people. And it was a really great, bright future for me. We literally saw the grown-up version of Avita turn around and say no, pushed Tandy out of her mind. And Tandy was so damn shook about that, she didn't understand how the fuck she was able to do that, because no one's ever done that before. And that was crazy to me. And I'm so glad that happened, because that's the black excellence right there, girl. You can't take that. But I just had to throw that in there. But that was just really cool to me, in my opinion. And then we get to the rock bottom of it. I don't know if I mentioned already how Tyrone's mother feels about the whole situation, but I'll reiterate it just for people that didn't know and hear. Tyrone's mother says, "Look, the reason why me and your father have never really spoke about your brother's death is because we've lived in fear that cop was going to kill you. And but listen, we see you for who you are." Because Tyrone says, "Look, I don't know what I am without that fear and that guilt and that regret." Because his mother kept telling him, "Listen, let all that go. Let it all go." And she said, "Look, I see how intelligent you are. I see how brave you are every single day to go out in this world and do what you do." And Tyrone was like, before that, Tyrone actually told his mother, like, "Look, Mom, what about your grandchildren? What about my kids? Why should I just not stand up? If I don't stand up, then that means that Billy's death would be for nothing. It'd be in vain." And I completely agree with Tyrone. If you don't do something like that, then it'll just be for nothing. And so, to see that was really groundbreaking for me, in my opinion. And then also, Tandy wants to come clean with her mother about her powers and things like that, I believe, amongst other things. Most notably, the vision of her father backhanding her mother, being physically abusive. And all of a sudden, the assassin that killed Greg pops up again. She's like, "Hey, Tandy, you know, Mr. Scarborough sends his regards." Very reminiscent of something I once heard in my life. And so it was crazy to see that again. But she said, "Look, I can kill your mother in 3 seconds if you don't show." In 3, 2, 1, you know. And I'm like, "Bitch, go out there, save your mama, shit." Like, and I hope she. I have a feeling she actually is, but we'll see. But this episode was pretty damn dope, man. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. This is your boy Shivy Speaks. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that bell notification for more, and that way you're updated constantly about my new content. If you have any suggestions, please let me know in the comment section below. I love that shit. Let me know what you guys want me to talk about. If you have any suggestions, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button as well. I love you guys. God bless.